We are in or on Vijay Chowk. On our right hand side is the newly christened Kartavya Path. In about a couple of hours, the Prime Minister is going to be inaugurating the Kartavya Path, as well as unveil that statue that you spoke about so elaborately. Well, like I said, right behind me is the South Block building, an iconic edifice which is going to be converted into a museum. There are a host of other physical changes that have already been completed when it comes to the central vista. Some of them are still pending. They will be unveiled to the public one by one. But apart from the physical changes, Rishabh, there are going to be some symbolic ones as well. And we're going to be discussing both of these in the next 1 hour. And in fact, I'll also take this opportunity to introduce some of the people who are going to be shedding some unique perspective and light and some histrionics as well as to where we are today when it comes to the central vista. Why was this change necessary, and why, going forth, the image that India has been building up justifies this particular change as well. To my left is Sumit Peer, political commentator, also joining me on the show. And to Sumit's left is Major Mohammed Ali Shah, defense expert. To his left is Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, defense expert. And last but by no means the least, Professor Utpal Kaul. He's a historian who's joining us from the lawns of the Vijay Chowk. As you can see, it's very resplendent. There are a host of changes that have been very minutely calibrated and articulated by the government. Going to Mohammed Ali Shah. Ali, you know, when the project in fact was announced, in 2019, there was a delay, obviously because of COVID-19. You know, the elitist in India felt that the dehistorization is the word that they use of India is not something good. You know, people are used to this kind of a setup. People are used to what the Britishers left behind, and spoiling it, that's the word they use, spoiling it and perhaps changing it to any degree will not go down well in terms of, you know, where we are coming from. But I think the more important message that the government is trying to portray is not where we are coming from, but where we are going.
Vineet, yes, very well said by you, and very pertinent point. See, the very fact that when we get rid of our colonial past, like on 15th August also, the Prime Minister said, हमें गुलामी की जंजीरें तोड़नी होंगी. So when we move ahead, when we move forward, when we go for progress, development, then yes, I mean, to put a base, to put a foundation, it is very difficult to put a foundation. But once the foundation is laid, the building goes up. Similarly, right now, we have ex-Rajpath, which is now Kartavya Path. I had the honor of marching on the then Kartavya Path, Rajpath, on 26 January 2008, where I led the Assam Rifles marching contingent. And now when it's Kartavya Path, when you walk on it now, the feeling of pride, the feeling that you are answerable to your duty, you have to perform, comes automatically. So when they say what's in the name, yes, Kartavya Path, you, aapka kartavya banta hai, aapki duty hai. So similarly now, once again, a lot of expenditure has been done on this project. Why not? To perform anything, actually there is expenditure. And then, like for example, earlier this place used to be open for any people coming for picnics to ice cream vendors. So now it would be exclusive. It will not be the same anymore. But it has some sanctity. The entire area over here, Raisina Hill, India Gate, Kartavya Path, the entire area has this sanctity. And that is going to be maintained. So yes, it is a very, very welcome step.
And Ali, you know, in fact, we are positioned extremely well. If you look to your left, and you can hear the construction activity right here as well. That's the new parliament. That's the sound of the new parliament, the seat of India's democracy. That's making, you know, how resplendent is that?
Absolutely.
You know, let me in fact also tell our viewers that, you know, the old parliament is also going to be turned into a museum, but at the same time, the new parliament is going to be more ergonomic. It's going to have a lot more space, but still, if you look at the square meter concept, it's still going to be lesser. There are going to be 2 halls and 1 library, just the way it was in the old Parliament House, but this time it's going to be accommodating a lot many people. Remember, Ali, that in 2026 there is a delimitation exercise through which parliamentarians could increase, and that is the reason why this parliament is being constructed. It is not to flash around India's growing GDP or you know, our fiscal you know, power. It's also to do a lot with practicality.
Absolutely, I totally A couple of years later, we would be expanding. Similarly, it's the same analogy I'd given you earlier about when we buy children's clothes, we'll buy a size bigger because then they'll outgrow it. So we have to cater for something which is far-sighted. So yes, I think we are on the right step, right track.
All right, Ali, there seems to be a problem with your mic. I'll just come back to you momentarily. I'll ask my team to get that fixed up real quick. Ali, if you talk about some of the other, proper and pertinent cities throughout the world, if you look at Washington, D.C., when they did achieve independence, it was built up as a capital, Ali, from up the ground. But when the British moved from Calcutta to Delhi, it was already a city. It was already a city which was visited, it was a city which was ruled from, and it was a city which was talked about all over the world. So obviously, the government of the day, any day, should have realized that modernity as well as heritage have to coexist.
Okay, Vineet, very well said. And I will correlate this with an example, with an analogy, which everyone would be able to connect with. Supposing you are living in a house and the house belonged to somebody else. So he had his own structure created, but now the house belongs to you. Bought the house. It's yours. You live in that with pride. It's yours. You can stand tall in that house. You're not sitting on rent. It's your house. It belongs to you. So you have the independence to modernize it, to structure it the way you want to do. And when it belongs to you, you obviously have the foresight. When you see, okay, I want these developments which will stay on for a lifetime. So because the developments now, I see them staying for a lifetime, Vineet. Lifetime. And we Indians take pride in every single thing that is Indian. Make in India. You make something yourself, and we have made an aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant. 1997 it was decommissioned. Look at now, and now if we have done that, Vineet, we can just do anything. There's nothing. Now India is unstoppable. There's nothing which we Indians cannot do. There's just nothing. And yes, look at, I mean, we pride, yeah. We proud. We are
Absolutely.
I've just felt this pride, yeah. Seeing the beauty around. It is amazing.
Absolutely, and we are sitting. This is a hot seat. This is, in fact, the best seat in the house. This is perhaps the most efficient construction governmental project that has been taken up. It's a process to bind energies together, energies that can be used by the exchequer somewhere else as well. The Prime Minister is going to come closer to the Parliament as well as the Rajpath Bhavan. The offices that run the country are going to be bound together through intricate tunnels in the basement. So above the Kartavya Chakra and the Path, you will see that the tourism industry is going to thrive, and below it, the country is going to thrive. We take